Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is, I think, my second video on this channel. No stranger to YouTube. I have a mycology channel that's pretty popular. But a little bit about me. My name is Michael. I am not a coder. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a software engineer. I'm actually a network engineer, 30 years. I've been building agentic workflows for the last 3. I've always been a very early technology adopter. So, I got pretty deep into it pretty quick. I started with N8N, like a lot of you, and this is kind of where this started. I manage a couple different clients. I manage a couple different departments within my own full-time job. And I was looking for a way where I could manage all of my self-hosted N8N instances in one dashboard. So this started as a dashboard, but it's really evolved. And I'm just going to walk you through it. This is the first time I've posted this publicly, a full walkthrough. I've teased it a little bit in some places, but this is the first walkthrough of it. It feels like I've been working on this for a month, but I went back and looked through my Git commits, and it's been 21 days as of today, April 28th. I've been working on this for 3 weeks. So this started out as a way for me to manage multiple instances of N8N. Let's just go a top-down, click-through walkthrough of everything that's going on here and what this has evolved to. So again, it started to manage multiple instances of N8N, but then I didn't want to pigeonhole myself in a corner. And I've built in functionality for all types of agents, Pydantic, Claude SDK. This is, I guess for lack of a better words, I kind of built an agentic operating system without even knowing it was an agentic operating system. It started as a dashboard. Now it's a management, visibility, and resource layer. So anyway, enough talking. Let's click through it. Let me show you what's going on here. So first, on our overview screen, our main screen here, right? This is our main dashboard. It's customizable. It's widget based. You can drag these around. Instances, all of your managed instances will show up here. You can switch between them. This is your execution timeline. This is a long forgotten empty N8N with probably a bunch of published workflows that don't have authorization on things anymore. But you can switch between your instances. It gives you your stats, how many workflows you have, how many are active and published, your failure rate, and how many executions. I think I have a get 50, a limit on that. So maybe we'll play with that a little bit. And you have here your workflow health. So this is every published workflow and its last execution, whether it was a success or a failure. And then there's an AI assistant down here at the bottom. We'll go into this a little bit more. There's fallback models, supports multiple different providers, multiple different models. All right, so that's the overview, right? And then we're going to go into our workflows, right? So this is a view of all of our workflows. I should actually add a button to be able to switch my instances here. Noted. So here I can drill into every single execution of the workflow. And if there's been a failure, I can actually go into that workflow. This is a pretty good, none of my workflows really fail on this one. Let's go over here. Let's go to production one. I have a little toggle here. You can see all your active, all your non-active. Again, this is a very long forgotten one. Let's see, I think, there we go. There's some errors. So I also have an a triage, an error triage in here. So you can drill into every execution in your errors. I can launch N8N from here. I can ask about the error, and it'll do a little bit of diagnosis for me. And another really kind of cool thing, let me go back to a different, let's go back to here. Let's go to our engagement tracker. So with this one, I can actually add a trigger, a dashboard webhook trigger. Now, the one limitation with N8N is if you already have a webhook trigger, you cannot have a second webhook trigger. So this will only work if you do not have a webhook already in your workflow. But check this out. So I'm gonna open this up. So here we have our dashboard trigger, right? So this is an engagement tracker. I have a fully autonomous social media platform. Every morning this runs and fetches all the metrics. It fetches all the likes, the comments, and the analytics, and then it puts it up in an Airtable, and it flags, top performers to put ad spend behind. I can actually trigger the workflow right from this dashboard with this trigger. I can remove the trigger, I can install the trigger. Oh, as you can see, workflow is running. So again, just a really central place where you can manage this stuff, right? I can import workflows, I can search workflows, executions and errors. This is going to show me all of my recent errors by timeline. There's also an AI triage in here. I already did this one, so it'll give you a clue as to why your workflows failed. Instances, again, this is how you manage them. Credentials, you can save your credentials, so when you launch it, it'll automatically save your credentials in the the next window. One cool thing I did integrate, and if you do a self-host N8N and you find it a little technically difficult, I made it very, very easy. We can stand up any kind of no-code, low-code workflow platforms. Anything that supports Docker, we can stand up in here and then share it with all of our agents, all of our workflows, all of our instances. So again, this is a resource layer. So I guess this is kind of about, going into the harness technology. I honestly started reading about harness technology in Agentic OSs after I started building this. But let's stand up an instance of N8N, right? So I'm going to have templates, and I have a few in here: Alamo, Qdrant, Flowwise, Redis, Postgres, a couple things in here. So let's stand up N8N, right? If you want to host N8N on your own, which I prefer to do, I don't really like paying for cloud services. Again, I'm a network engineer, so I self-host all of this stuff on a Proxmox virtual environment. And just that fast, I have deployed an instance of N8N. So we are going to go ahead and open this up, log in, right? Go through this. Get started, send me the key. Thank you very much. Once we're in here, you saw how fast that was to stand this up. We're going to go in here. We're going to create our API key. We're just going to call this AGD. And this will be gone by the time this video airs. So now that we have our API key, we can go back in here and we can just add it. Add an instance. We're going to call this 1. This is going to be localhost 6969. And actually, because I'm running this on a local host, I gotta do this by IP address. And then put your API key in here. Connect. Boom. Now we have added that instance to AgeniusDesk here. So very easy to stand up self-hosted instances of N8N. Very easy to manage them. We can destroy them. You can even update it from here directly. I do run Proxmox. A lot of this stuff I'm going to build in here is going to be module based, so I'm going to support community modules. I realize not everyone runs Proxmox, but I do. So this actually also manages, I can look at all of my LXC containers, restart them, shut them down, look at all my resources. This is mostly a visibility layer. I can't do a lot of work in here, but it kind of shows me all my storage, all my resources in my cluster, all of that good stuff, all my different LXCs I have stood up: Crawford AI, Qdrant, Physical, BW. This is an ingest server. Some beta instances of AgeniusDesk here, Proxmox backup server, NetBird. I also run NetBird and Waza for network security in my environment. So that's that. This will be a take it or leave it kind of thing, a module that you can load up if you want, if you use Proxmox. If not, you don't. This is going to be kind of module based, so it's a little customizable. Agents. So this is where all of our Claude agents, our Pydantic agents and things like that live. So this is our error triage agent. This is kind of what it does. This gives visibility into those agents that aren't necessarily visible. There's a reason we all got started on N8N, right? Because it's easy to visualize this stuff and visualize the the workflows and all of that good stuff. But you get into these command line agents, these CLI agents, like Claude Code, things like that, Pydantic, LangChain. You don't really have visibility into what they're doing. So this is kind of that layer. It's not perfect yet, but it's a work in progress. And then there's our agent lab, which I do like. We're going to do this. So we have a model here, which is an assistant which can help you build either N8N or Pydantic agents. And the great thing is you build an agent in here, you can send it and inject it right into N8N. Now let's do codecs for this. Bam. All right, I already had this one in here. So we're just gonna say, hey, I need a agent to check my email every hour and let me know if I have important emails, right? So it's a very basic prompt, and it's gonna go ahead, boom, and it's gonna build that Pydantic agent for me. Now over here, we're gonna have our bindings. Now this is where we're gonna be able to give it resources. So again, work in progress. So the bindings are going to be MCP servers and physical credentials. I do have a encrypted credential management in here as well. Very cybersecurity focused. So now this is again a work in progress. We're getting there. Knowledge. So this is going to be basically our second brain, our context engineering sector here. This is where we're going to give it connections to different knowledge bases, different MCP servers, different vector stores. We're going to implement support for Graphify in here. So we have like graph knowledge too. So we have some like relational knowledge. Terminal, no thing would be complete without terminal. You can run Claude Code right in here. And again, because you're running it in this environment, you have access to the knowledge, you have access to the MCP servers, you have access to the secrets vault. And that's kind of the point of this, right? Because we want to be able to manage all different types of agents. I'm very provider agnostic. I'm very platform agnostic. I like what gets the job done most efficiently. Models, again, this is where you're going to pick your models. We also have fallback model support, custom prompt instructions if you want to add custom prompts. The fallback models, if you're running a workflow and it fails, it will automatically fall back to whatever you set as your fallback model. MCP servers. So these are where you can add any MCP server, right? If we go back to Docker and we deploy MCP servers via Docker, we can add them directly in here as well. So this will give, again, another shared resource layer. It already comes built in with all the N8N MCP servers because this is kind of what I started building it on. This is just a database of developer docs that I keep maintained that my agents always have access to. Instead of going out to the internet and reaching out for docs, they have a QDrant database that lives local. They can go search. Secrets storage. So there's a local store. It is encrypted at rest, but it's not encrypted when it's in use. I have also been using in physical for quite a while for secrets, secret management for all my different businesses and companies. And they recently introduced Agent Vault, which is kind of an intermediary between the agents and your encrypted stores. So basically, an agent can reach out and say, hey, I need my Anthropic API key, and it's going to pass it to the Agent Vault. The agent's going to pass it back a hash and not the key, and it's going to work. So again, just visibility, security, that's what this is all built about. I'm building in voice support, voice notes, dictation, because I think it's very important to be able to talk to your agents, not just type. It definitely saves you a lot of time. Insights, these are going to be your insights on your workflows. So it'll show you, 14 runs, 100% success. It'll show you how many runs, what your success percentage is, timelines. I don't know, this kind of sucks, but we'll figure it out. Your average runtime per execution. I'm going to build some cost metrics in here too, so you're going to be able to track your API costs, things of that nature. Admins, just dashboard user system, stuff like that. Import and export. So this is kind of cool. So we can import workflows and drop them right. So let's go here. Let's put one in here. Let's see. Let's go find a workflow JSON that I can drop in here real quick. Okay, so there we go. Imported it. Now let's go here and see if we actually did it. Let's go to our instances. Should be able to launch it from there. Note to myself. Oh, I can't launch that. Okay. And there it is. That's in that instance we just spun up. We just dropped this in here. So easy to spin up n8n instances, easy to import workflows right in there. And another great thing we can do is, let's do this. We can go to secrets. And now I can say, I want to give this my Anthropic key. I want to send this to n8n. I want to mirror this to Anthropic API. I want to mirror this to our new instance. So now I can go back in here, go to here, go to my credentials. And now I have my API key from Anthropic in here. So I can share my credentials from a central store to any instance that I stand up here. Export and backup, just what it says. I can export all my workflows as a JSON. I can export only my active ones. I can select, which ones I want. So, a lot going on here. And then I wouldn't be proper without some music. Music's a big part of my life, so I did put a very robust music player in here. So we can drop music right in. It supports Plex, Jellyfin, Radio Garden. You can embed SoundCloud, Pandora, YouTube, any music provider basically. If you like to listen to music while you work, just another added little feature will probably be added as a module because it does take up a lot of room in the UI, and some people aren't going to use this, but me, I always listen to music while I'm working. So that's it. That's a Genius Desk. That's what I've been working on. Let me know what you think in the comments. I will be launching this soon for public beta. Right now I've got like 5 private beta testers, and we're shaking out some bugs, and we're going through this like one section at a time, clicking through everything, working through everything. So yeah, that's a Genius Desk. I hope you guys like it, and more to come. Thanks for listening. Peace.